With this Elimination Chamber event, it's hard to believe that every WWE pay-per-view event on the calendar year since WrestleMania has gone through with no audience. These are dark times, there is no denying. But WWE deserves the praise for putting on fantastic pay-per-view events throughout those dark times. It's a cool cinematic effect to put the frequency noise along with painful breathing. However, with the current Elimination Chamber design, it doesn't look believable whatsoever. Now, if we showed footage of the previous Elimination Chamber design, then yes, it would be believable.
You want a WrestleMania moment? You gotta win this match!
Here we go again with the if you want a WrestleMania moment, you have to win this match. WWE has got to stop treating the Elimination Chamber like it's the only chance you could get a WrestleMania moment. It's only one of many possibilities. Honestly, WWE should probably stop zooming in on the Thunderdome screens because the closer they zoom in, the more difficult it is to see the person on the screen. I am instantly thrown in 15 cents for this Elimination Chamber match because it's absolutely ridiculous that Roman Reigns is not defending the Universal Championship in this match. Instead, the winner of this match gets the Universal title match against him immediately after the Chamber is ended. That is the laziest way to defend a championship I have ever seen. Also, initially, Roman was set to compete because Adam Pearce said so, but Roman somehow had the authority to decline. Adam should honestly say, you may be the head of the table, but I am the head of this table since he has more authority over Roman himself. You know, if we don't get an actual documentary feature out of this Sami Zayn conspiracy hunt bullshit, well then I'm going to be majorly disappointed. Kevin Owens tells Sami Zayn to get in here so we can get this started, forgetting that there are 4 additional participants who have yet to make their entrance. Man, you gotta love Jessica Carr and the way she handles Sami Zayn's documentary crew. Watching them get kicked out to Sami's dismay was a funny moment. Although Sami's documentary crew, who have absolutely no threat to anything, are immediately ejected. Meanwhile, Omos, who actually is a threat, is somehow allowed to hang out with AJ Styles during the course of his match. Just saying, that's weird. Longest King of the Ring ever. Honestly, by this point, when the next King of the Ring tournament takes place, King Corbin might be defending the title against the tournament winner.
And Jey Uso will climb into the pod.
Climb? Apparently Michael Cole believes that walking a few steps counts as climbing something. Does that mean going up the stairs actually means you're moving backwards? Oh my god, are you kidding me right now? 4 competitors made their entrance, there are still 2 more to arrive. So why are we playing a promo video for the next 3 minutes? Here are 5 more sins.
5 to the chamber tonight.
Second pay-per-view in a row where Sami Zayn gets jump-scared by someone. First it was Kofi Kingston at the Royal Rumble, and now Cesaro at the Elimination Chamber. Can't wait to see who will scare him at Fastlane and WrestleMania.
Elimination Chamber is brought to you in part.
Skip!
Corey, is there any strategy in the early going?
Commentator always asks what the strategy is at the start of an Elimination Chamber match cliche. Heard it time and time again.
Sent across the ring.
Daniel Bryan has done that at least once or twice per match throughout his entire career. How does anyone fall for that anymore?
Cesaro's never been a world champion.
Sadly.
Armbar. Daniel Bryan.
If Daniel Bryan is trying to lock in an armbar, he's not exactly doing a good job at it. He should be pulling back at Cesaro's wrist so we can fully lock it in.
Combination stack the shoulders. At 2.
Cesaro should have stayed where he was instead of lifting up Daniel. The position he had Daniel in that pinfall, there was no chance that Daniel could roll his shoulder off the canvas because he wouldn't be able to move. Your chance to eliminate him was right there.
Enjoying himself, taking a nice leap.
Having your opponent in a standing vertical suplex alone takes a lot of strength, balance, and cooperation, but doing it while able to walk around with your opponent in the air like that takes twice as much. Good job to both Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. They should have honestly selected Sami Zayn's pod so we could see his reaction about conspiracies, especially when he was constantly repeating not mine, not mine, not mine during the selection process.
Enter the fray.
Don't know if you caught that, but Kevin Owens said, come on, why him? Completely disappointed that he didn't get to be picked first. Both Sami and Kevin are the best parts of this match with their comedy.
King Cesaro set over the top.
We are surrounded by chains and glass pods, so King Corbin chooses to toss Cesaro back into the ring, which wouldn't damage him as much as the other 2 options. Only guaranteed thing is the ring canvas would damage Cesaro a lot more than those bouncy playhouse mats on the outside.
There's no remorse.
Even if he was the first wrestler eliminated, King Corbin really showed that outside of the general manager shtick and the King gimmick, he's still a freaking awesome competitor with great strategies. Here's to hoping we see the return of the Lone Wolf again. No one cares what's trending.
And now Cesaro driven into the...
What are you so afraid of, Sami? Afraid we're gonna have another Mark Henry situation where you're accidentally released early into the match?
Coming out quickly.
King Corbin is stronger than Sami Zayn, so why doesn't he just use his strength to pull open Sami's pod door?
That's what you get!
The Best part about this isn't Cesaro sneaking up on Sami. The best part was the referee slowly opening the other pod door while Sami continuously yells at King Corbin, not realizing the door is slowly opening behind him.
And Sami Zayn went for the hello.
Can't wait to see the next installment of Sami's documentary where he criticizes the Elimination Chamber pod for hurting his ankle.
Get into a pinning. Oh!
This DDT would have looked a lot cooler had we actually seen how Sami Zayn set that up. Gotta suck when there's only so much we can see at one time. Sami Zayn is dumb enough to believe that climbing to the other side of the chamber will keep Cesaro away from him. Gotta love Cesaro, am I right? After throwing Sami off of the chamber wall, he does some quick pull-ups before continuing his onslaught. That was hilarious.
Man, like old times, me and you. Oh my God, what are you...
Well, you can't fault Kevin Owens for doing that, Sami. You said, let's do this together like the old times, so Kevin starts beating the shit out of you. Just like the old times.
Ribs of Owens.
Fighting.
Left of the winner will face Roman.
Biting, begging for mercy, complaining about pretty much everything and wanting to team up with others. Yep, Sami Zayn managed to activate nearly all the heel cliches in 10 minutes.
Many believe Uso cost Kevin Owens the Universal title.
That may be because Jey Uso did cost Kevin Owens the Universal Championship on multiple occasions, whether it be in TLC or SmackDown, and then of course the referee cost Kevin at the Royal Rumble.
The pod and a moonsault.
Kevin Owens really loves to jump off of everything, doesn't he? That moonsault from the top of the pod onto everyone was perfectly executed. Please let him jump off something cool at WrestleMania if Kevin has the chance, like a pirate ship.
KO eliminates Zayn.
Hey, Sami Zayn was the one who requested Kevin Owens for a moment like the old times. Can't get any closer to that than Kevin defeating Sami in a match, just like he did nearly every time they wrestled against each other. Man, that was a great rivalry.
Eliminated. See, pretty.
Jeez, I actually grabbed my own arm in pain watching that. I've had a door slam shut on my arm multiple times and that shit hurts. Great innovative move on the part of Jey Uso.
Is it enough to put Uso away?
Well, since you asked that question, the obvious answer to it is no. Just once, I'd like to hear the commentators not ask a question all the time when a pinfall is about to be performed.
Bryan feels like he failed himself when he failed to win the men's Royal Rumble.
Daniel Bryan feels like he failed himself just because he didn't win the Royal Rumble match. This guy's had his story told in multiple different remakes, and yet he still feels like he hasn't succeeded? Dude's got personal issues he needs to resolve.
To summon the energy.
The Yes chant is off sync to Daniel Bryan's actual arm movements. Once again, the audio technicians backstage suck at their job.
Cousin championship.
The upcoming Universal title match was going to be short and over with anyway, so honestly, I think it would be a lot more interesting if Jey Uso won and got to challenge Roman Reigns again, especially since he has pledged his services to him. With Daniel Bryan, it had little to no impact at all. Even when Roman Reigns took his time heading down to the ring, we just know that there was no chance for Daniel Bryan to suddenly pull a miracle out of his ass and win the championship. This whole thing made the Elimination Chamber match pointless since the winner either gets the title or challenges the champion at WrestleMania.
That's it, he's out. Yeah, the official.
Congratulations, Daniel Bryan. You won the Elimination Chamber match. And there went your title match just like that. That was the laziest booking for an Elimination Chamber match ever, and it's sad.
Oh my God! Spear! That's it.
Post-match assault. But hell yeah! That was an awesome spear from Edge out of nowhere. A spear, and then an immediate point to the WrestleMania sign, confirming that Edge selects Roman Reigns as his WrestleMania opponent. That got me excited, and now I'm ready to see the match at Mania. Bad Bunny is still hanging around here. Apparently his performance at the Royal Rumble was so terrible that WWE felt bad and gave him the 24/7 championship.
Are you a champion?
Bad Bunny honestly foreshadowed The Miz cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase by asking that very same question. That and Miz backing out of the main event kind of made it obvious. Poor Damian Priest went from being a great dominant NXT superstar to being the bodyguard of a rapper whose appearances continue to annoy the living hell out of me. I figure we're getting another angle just like we did with Snooki 10 years ago, and it's fucking pathetic. The constant replays of Riddle leaping over the top rope to kick off his sandals, it's not exactly that impressive, and the replays made it even less impressive. Previously on the Elimination Chamber.
Champion for 175 days.
And we're bringing up the number of days that Bobby Lashley has been the United States Champion because we know he's obviously going to be losing it tonight.
Not a single superstar can defeat him.
Bobby Lashley thinks that nobody can defeat him even though several wrestlers actually have defeated him over the years. That thought would only make sense if Bobby was undefeated, which he's not. The WWE suddenly shut off the audio when MVP was instructing Bobby Lashley, as if he started cursing. I read MVP's lips. He did not curse at all. Damn, what are y'all so sensitive about in the audio production truck? Riddle takes a single bump and then looks like he never took a bump in his entire career. Or is he trying to look like Sting after that powerbomb from the other company? Okay, we get it. Hashtag WWE Chamber is the #1 trend in the United States. We saw it the first time. What do you want, a cookie?
The chief hurt officer Yes, sir.
If Bobby Lashley is the Chief Hurt Officer, wouldn't that make him the CHO of the Hurt Business instead of the CEO as MVP had been referred to him as? Riddle and John Morrison are both on the outside of the ring. Meanwhile, Bobby Lashley is looking to the entrance ramp as if he expects somebody else to suddenly appear and join the match. What are you waiting for, dude?
Oh, wait a minute.
Wow, Riddle's Hurricane Rana on Bobby Lashley over the top rope was so quick and out of nowhere. That would have been a kick-ass Royal Rumble elimination for sure. No offense, but smaller wrestlers really got to stop trying to lift up the much bigger wrestlers all the time. The more they try to do it, the better chance their energy suddenly leaves them. Not as bad as Tyler Bate trying to constantly lift up Walter for 40 minutes, but close enough.
You really thought that was going to pin me all night? Shut the hell up.
I think this might be the first time I mentioned this for two people, but both MVP and John Morrison will be great at Intermission's 2 expansion.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Congrats to Riddle, but we could have done without the "oh yeah bro" from Tom Phillips, which kind of ruined the moment. Not to mention it took Riddle literally all the title matches against Bobby Lashley before he finally got the job done.
Here in the United States, Peacock.
I'll take a step out because I like the lightning and thunder effects when WrestleMania 37 is being advertised. Makes the hype all the more exciting. I truthfully wouldn't mind if WrestleMania actually took place during a real thunderstorm because it would match the hype up in the pirate theme. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Why is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair all of a sudden challenging the women's tag team titles? First off, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez earned the right to challenge Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler at Vengeance Day. Not to mention Naomi and Lana are also looking to capture them. But let's team up Sasha and Bianca for no reason other than the fact that Bianca is going to pick Sasha at WrestleMania. Wow.
Roman Reigns will defend the Universal.
Yes, Michael, we already know that Roman Reigns will face Edge at WrestleMania based off the spear earlier. Plus, we gotta focus on the current match about to take place. Previously on WWE. Pre-entrance, yet post-entrance, pre-match interview. Okay, I think I finally got that part nailed down. Wasn't it weird enough that Reginald was hanging out with Carmella? Now he's hanging out with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks? This is just ridiculous at this point.
And it's boss time.
Don't worry, I'm wearing protective gear this time. To this very day, I don't know if this referee is supposed to look like he doesn't give a shit or if he generally doesn't give a shit. Someone check to make sure he's okay.
Vale. Nia Jax.
Well, you shouldn't have shouted out that your asshole was hurting that one time against Lana, otherwise nobody would be targeting your ass all the time.
I don't know if that's the smartest.
Wah, wah.
In here. And Bianca.
Is Nia Jax's new gimmick composed of her being constantly confused of everything that's going on? Her surprise reaction to Bianca Belair catching Sasha Banks has me suspicious that that's what's going on with her.
Bianca hanging on with everything she has.
Shayna Baszler's left shoulder is completely off the canvas during the sequence, yet the referee ignores it and continues to count the pin, just like with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35.
Question is, will Bianca Belair choose Sasha?
Not exactly important at the moment since Bianca Belair is in the middle of a tag team title match, unless she randomly grabs a microphone and tells Sasha Banks that she chooses her and then they get back to the action.
Shoulders down for Baszler.
The crowd sound effects continue the pinfall even despite the fact that Shayna Baszler kicked out at 1. May want to hire better editors for this.
Titles under the leg.
Ah, your voice cracked!
Oh, no way. No.
Bianca Belair has trouble lifting up Nia Jax, but has no problem lifting up Otis that one time on SmackDown. And I have it on record that Otis is much bigger than Nia before you start the Nia's bigger than Otis comments. This dumbass Reginald coming out with his champagne to distract Sasha Banks and cost her the women's tag team titles. Seriously, where the hell is Carmella during all this? No offense, but why are we hosting a Fastlane pay-per-view literally 2.5 weeks prior to WrestleMania? It ain't gonna help the build-up to the grandest stage of them all. This entire backstage sneak peek of MVP talking to The Miz just spoiled the fact that something's going to be done about Miz cashing in. Could have gone to the main event without seeing that. Damn, this was a short pay-per-view event. We are literally only 95 minutes in and we have already arrived to the main event. Good thing the pay-per-views aren't 4 hours, but even NXT TakeOver is longer than this.
Elimination Chamber.
As if we didn't already see a promo video hyping up the Elimination Chamber and its brutality, we bring to you another one.
My Money in the Bank contract.
Stop showing The Miz! His entire Money in the Bank cash-in is ruined by the obvious spoilers taking place throughout this evening. Miz backing out of the match, declaring he has the advantage, Bad Bunny asking him if he's champion yet, and then MVP's conversation with him prior to this match beginning. WWE made sure to edit the second rule to regularly scheduled intervals instead of every 5 minutes because they know their history of timing sucks ass.
Selected at random.
Random my ass. So, like I mentioned earlier, why isn't the referees immediately ejecting Omos from ringside just like they did with Sami Zayn's documentary crew? Where's Jessica Carr when you need her? Super New Day Bros.
Help McIntyre reach a level he had.
Sheamus took credit for Drew McIntyre reaching the top where he is now, even despite the fact that Sheamus was nowhere to be found throughout any of Drew's rise heading into WrestleMania 36. I believe Sheamus was too busy beating up Chad Gable, known then as Shorty G.
He called the Chamber the most intimidating.
More intimidating than Hell in a Cell? I honestly don't see how the Elimination Chamber is more intimidating than Hell in a Cell, especially with what happened to Jeff Hardy in the cell against Randy Orton 2.5 years ago. Randy Orton slowly moving to stare at every wrestler inside the pause takes a longer time than his actual entrance to the ring.
In their hands, we're about to find out.
Seems like an honest waste of time for Jeff Hardy to be hyping up the crowd by clapping, because let's face it, the audio technicians wouldn't get the effects right. And then Randy accidentally broke the glass, freeing Drew McIntyre super early into the match. Imagine if we had another Mark Henry situation.
Randy Orton would love to.
Jeff Hardy got tangled up on the ropes so bad one would think that they were watching a WWE 2K20 simulation of this chamber match instead of the actual chamber match.
You can't win it early.
No, yes you can.
Wait, hold on a second. Samoa Joe means to tell us that there actually is a way to win the Elimination Chamber early at the start? What is it? What is it?
SummerSlam Clash of Champions, Hell in a Cell.
If you're bringing up the many times Drew McIntyre faced off against Randy Orton throughout 2020 and 2021, don't forget to mention Raw, and that one time on Raw.
Is in danger. Oh my God! Oh, told you move.
Well, where did you expect the cameraman to move to? He was literally stuck between Kofi Kingston's pod and this chain wall.
So look at this.
The Orton's got it.
This draping DDT is a little awkward because Drew McIntyre had to reposition his leg back on the middle rope first.
Remember the rivalry over the WWE Title?
Fuck that. A better pass to reminisce is Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston's feud throughout the end of 2009. Those were great times.
Cover by Kingston. Kingston.
Randy Orton's shoulder came off the canvas several times after each count. The referee chose to ignore it and completed the 3 count. So Randy got screwed because of an incompetent referee. Here are 5 more sins.
That is enormous.
And of course a post-elimination assault. I don't blame Randy for being mad about getting screwed after clearly kicking out many times, but I still gotta add this in. Weakest plexiglass I have ever seen. Don't get me wrong, it was still crazy to see Omos use his strength like that. Also, would you bet that AJ Styles thought to himself, screw it, I'm gonna be the next guy released anyway because Sheamus is scheduled to enter last and chose not to wait. Now imagine if full crowds were still allowed to attend these shows during this moment. Adam Pearce is not afraid to eject Omos from the ringside area but cowers at the very sight of Roman Reigns. What is AJ Styles so upset about? Next to releasing him from the pod, what more can Omos do in this Elimination Chamber from the outside? If anything, he's served his purpose for the night.
McIntyre wearing the wound.
By this point, it's been about 10 minutes since the last participant was released, and while I know that AJ Styles broke out of the pod and entered early, another 6 to 7 minutes have passed since then. What's taking them so long to release Sheamus into the match?
Go! McIntyre.
The pod door got stuck again. Wouldn't be the first time I got stuck trying to release Sheamus. Oh, the memories of 2015. That was a hilarious time. It's kind of a shame that the later results of adding in The Miz and Bobby Lashley into the WWE Championship picture took place, because Drew McIntyre and Sheamus would be an epic WrestleMania one-on-one match based off this fight alone. Same size, evenly matched, and they know each other extremely well. Damn it!
How dangerous this is.
Drew McIntyre is addicted to Sheamus' Celtic Warriors. I'll remove a sin for this moment because that was the funniest trust fall I have seen from Kofi Kingston.
Cover for a new champion.
AJ Styles had a smart strategy right there. It's about time someone did that. Waited until Drew McIntyre kicked out before targeting Jeff Hardy just to see if Jeff would successfully eliminate the champion first.
And AJ Styles.
Realizing that AJ was moving out of the way, Jeff instead turned his focus to Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, figuring he had to jump onto someone. I love that sudden switch.
Right here, Swan, Hardy up. Oh.
Drew McIntyre should have at least waited until after Jeff pinned AJ Styles following the Swanton Bomb before connecting the Claymore kick. AJ was smart. Drew, not so much.
A second. Hold on a second. AJ Styles.
450 splash attempt failed.
Sheamus needs to focus that rage.
Sheamus accidentally giving AJ Styles a wedgie when trying to keep him on his feet. This is awkward.
Styles. Oh.
Here are 3 more sins off for that amazing Claymore kick in midair, catching AJ Styles at the right moment. Fantastic way to culminate this Elimination Chamber main event. Another post-match assault. When you think about it, literally both winners of the 2 Elimination Chamber matches tonight went through hell and then got placed in another match immediately afterward. Crazy how things turned out. Pun fully intended, this moment was awesome. Even when we figured this reign won't last long, it was still epic to see The Miz win the WWE Championship following another successful Money in the Bank cash-in, becoming the first ever 2-time Grand Slam champion in the process. 15 sins removed for the 15 years he dedicated himself to the business.